Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Richard DeFord, also known as Doc Pens, and I'm going to spend just a few moments with you today on this beautiful Saturday morning of the Chicago Pen Show 2026. No, I'm not in Chicago. I wish I was. Probably the only time you'll hear me say that. I have no desire to go to Chicago, except I would like to be at the Chicago Pen Show. Unfortunately, I'm not. I'm at home. I will be in the St. Louis Pen Show, so look forward to seeing you at the end of June in St. Louis. But today I wanted to spend a few moments with you talking about a new pen that I have received along with some ink. This is the first time I have utilized this ink, and I'm going to give you a sample of it. This is from Monteverde, and it is the Invincia Nebula. So here is what the box looks like. It's their branding, how they ship most of their Monteverde pens. There are some others that they ship a little differently, but we're going to open this up and you're going to get to see it along with this new ink that's new for me. I have not used this ink until very recently, and so I'm going to ink this pen and let you see how it writes and then also give you my thoughts on it. So let me switch views, and that way I'll let you see exactly what we're doing today. All right, so today we are looking at the Monteverde, and it is labeled as the Invincia fountain pen. Nebula is the model, and so you can see that there. If you want to look this up and see what the pricing is like for you, it's very reasonably priced. So let's get this open, and then I'm also going to show you today this Private Reserve Pearlescent Red and Silver. So we're going to ink this pen with this ink and let you see what it is like. So are you ready for this? This is a big reveal because I have to tell you, when I opened this box, it gave me the oohs and ahs. This is a gorgeous pen. Look at that. Of course, the Monteverde brand inside the box. These always make excellent gift boxes for those who might be searching for a gift. So here is this beautiful Nebula pen, and I'll show you a little bit more about that here in a minute. And then you open it up, you get two international cartridges that come with it, and of course the filling instructions and all that that come with all of Monteverde's pens. And then the pen itself has a converter as well, and so um, this is, I just have to tell you, this is a wow factor pen. When I opened it, um, it's just gorgeous. And it's got the Invincia logo there on the band, cap band, and then of course the Monteverde USA. You know, I have a history with this brand. The brand that got me into pens was Monteverde USA. I walked into a small pen store, and I remembered my dad having fountain pens, and as a little kid, I could never get them to work, so I didn't really give much thought. And I mentioned that to the clerk at this little store, and he said, "Well, why don't you try this?" And I tried a Monteverde Ritma. I'll never forget it, and I was hooked instantly. So I have a um, fond place in my heart for Monteverde USA. They are what got me started. So we're going to take this off slowly, let you see. It is a solid thread. There is no wiggle room in that at all. Nice and tight. And when you tighten this down, some pins, when I tighten it down, I feel like I could maybe over tighten it and break it. I don't get that feeling with this at all. I mean, I'm sure with any thread you could break it if you did it too tight, but I feel like this is a very firm and secure threading that they have done. And as somebody who makes pens, I definitely appreciate that, because I've blown out threads before because I've tightened things too much. So I'm going to just open this up and let you see the nib. It has a black section and a black nib, and this particular one is a medium. I tend to use mediums most of the time. Sometimes I use fine. Almost never do I use an extra fine. Depends on, I guess, the paper that I'm using. If I'm using a standard paper. I did go ahead and ink this pen with the Private Reserve Pearlescent red and silver. I'll show you that. Um, and I've got a couple things that I want to highlight about this ink as well. But we're going to kind of take this apart. Let you see what the inside looks like along with the converter. This is tapered, so I don't know if you can see that. Certainly it posts, obviously, with the tapering, anytime you have a tapered pen like that. So it does post. I tend not to post, at least not very hard, because I have blown out caps before because I posted just a little too aggressively in a hurry. But it is all metal with metal threads. And then, of course, the converter with the Private Reserve Pearlescent silver. And you can kind of see some of that silver that is in that. I will shake it a little bit, hopefully without making a mess. I have to tell you that I usually tweak nibs. Every nib that I open, I take a look at to see if I need to optimize that nib. And this right out of the box, I did not have to do that. It is perfectly aligned. And I appreciate that about Monteverde. I don't know that I've ever had a Monteverde pen with a number 6 nib like this has that I've ever had to really do anything with. They do very well at their quality control with their nib units. So I'm going to now just set this down and talk a little bit for a moment about the Private Reserve Pearlescent Red Silver ink. Now, this is the first time I've ever used the Private Reserve brand, and it's also the first time, obviously, ever using their pearlescent as well. I have 3 boxes, one in red, one in blue, one in black. I do notice that it says shake well before use. Anytime that you get an ink that has an additive, whether it's a glitter or a shimmer or what have you, you want to shake it before use just so that you can make sure that whatever has settled gets stirred around a little bit. But I want to highlight something about this for you. Getting into these boxes is a little bit of a challenge for my arthritis, but so this is what the jar looks like. Again, shake well. It says shake well a couple different places on the box. We got shake well before use here. We got shake well before use here. So they really want you to shake it. The problem is, I will tell you, that I experienced, not with this particular bottle, although I have been very careful since I had an accident. So the Private Reserve Blue Pearlescent Silver ink that I got at the same time as this one, I shook it as intended, and I ended up with a humongous mess. I'm telling you, I had ink everywhere. You would have thought that I slept in it or something. And so what I have determined is that perhaps these caps are not sealed as well as I would like for a fluid item in a container. So I will tell you that one of the first things that I did was I moved this ink into one of my ink jars. I have several of these, and when I've got a few different inks that I've had to do that too. That I'd rather be safe than sorry, and this thing can lock tight, and I don't have any issues when I shake that. So just be mindful. It is very full when you open it. They do a good job of giving you every ounce that you can get. This is 60 milliliters, 2.3 ounces. Just be advised that it may be that when you shake it, you might want to make sure that you take precautions so that you don't make a mess. But that is the only negative thing I'm going to say about this ink, because I find this ink to be beautiful. It is a beautiful ink, and I'm going to give you a writing sample here in a second of just what it looks like. I see a lot of times on Facebook forums and groups and all of that, people talk about the color of blood, and sometimes you want a good deep red ink. All right. So I'm just going to show you what this ink looks like. I'm just using an Amazon Basic standard notepad, right? And I realize that certain wet inks may be better served to use on a different type of platform. So I do have some other notebooks and all that, but for me, I just like to sit down with an Amazon Basic notepad and see what the ink will do. So understand there could be some feathering with this, and that's okay. I would expect it actually of a medium nib pen with good flow on certain inks. So I'm going to just do some writing here so you can see this. First off, the nib here is just gorgeous. It is so smooth. So, writes very, very smooth. I love this pen. It has a great weight. Excuse me. Very, very smooth, all metal. This is not one of those things that you're probably going to break if you drop. I mean, you break the nib if you break any nib if you drop it on the nib, but the pen itself is very solid. And you can see the color of this ink is just gorgeous. It really is a great red ink. And so I'm just going to kind of color this in, let you see. There's a little bit of feathering, but really not bad at all for a medium nib. If this were a fine or an extra fine nib, I wouldn't really expect any feathering at all on this very basic paper. So if you are journaling with a notebook that is designed for fountain pen ink, you're going to get beautiful reproduction of what you're wanting. So that's just a little bit of a writing sample for you so you could see first off just how incredibly smooth this nib is. The flow is excellent. Never is there a time where I feel like it's going to skip. And then just look at the quality of this red. Very beautiful. Love it. All right, so with that is the Private Reserve Pearlescent Red and Silver. And then in addition to that, we have the Invincia Nebula in a medium nib. Highly recommend any of the products from Monteverde. And let me just say this also about Monteverde brand. If you ever have a problem, their support is excellent. So don't feel like when you buy a Monteverde pen, whether you're in a store or online, that you're being hung out to dry and on your own, because you can contact Monteverde and their support is excellent. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this very brief review of this beautiful pen, the Invincia Nebula from Monteverde, USA, along with the Private Reserve Pearlescent Red and Silver. Hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching Doc Pens.